I think I heard a baby deer crying over there. We got some baby deers over here, so. But yeah, I think that would look a lot nicer once it gets smoothed out a little bit better. And the more you work it, obviously, the better it'll look. So I've only gone over it, you know, basically twice. So, but I don't know. It's that's about as good as it's gonna get for now. I think I'll try pulling it again though, with just that drum sitting on top empty. I don't think it's gonna really do anything, but if it's not enough, well then I'll add some water to it. I can bring a couple of 5-gallon pails of water, I guess, too, because I don't know if I want to bring that to the house. I mean, I guess I can, but yeah, it probably would be better just to bring that to the damn house. I don't know. It's we'll see what happens. I could come back down here again, you know, anytime, and either with the 4-wheeler again, or even if I wanted to come tonight, I'd have to come with the little tractor, then the little John Deere, and pull it with that. But I don't know. If it needs more weight, well then obviously you just add water to it. That's going to be pretty good, I think. So, and if I don't plan on pulling it anytime soon, well then obviously you can kind of just, you know, tear it all apart, get the water tank off, you know, if you have water in it, to lighten up the pallet, and then just push it all into the woods or something, you know, and then put it all back together, and then when you need to pull it, then you can pull it. So, and if you don't plan on pulling it, well then you can just leave it until winter, and then once winter hits, then I guess you can just you know, yeah, once winter hits, I guess just pull it up to the yard. But yeah, the hay out here is doing all right. Of course, I mean, I keep kind of running it over, but this is going to be the 4-wheeler's trail now, right here, because I can get in here now. So that's the plan. So I got a trail. There we go again. I have a trail, because I think I showed it last year, but it goes into these woods here, and then it goes along there, so I can get in and out. But I don't have it opened here yet on the end of the trail. I have to clean it off, you know, and then it'd be good to go. But I just haven't gotten around to it yet, because I got enough crap going on. And now with 4th of July coming up, I'm kind of would like to take one day off from not doing a bloody freaking thing. So, because I've been doing a lot of that. Oh, she's hot in here again. I'd like to take at least one day off, not do anything. Could have taken today off, not done anything, but then I feel like I'm not getting anything done. So, but get some air conditioner going, because she's hot in here. But yeah, so I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it'll smooth itself out too, you know, with time. But if you want to be able to enjoy it right away, well then you got to do something with it right away, right after being worked. I would say work it. If you know there's not going to be any rain for a few days, maybe work it, you know, bury any trash that you have on it, if that's what you're doing. Smooth it out. Even if you got, you know, a pallet, it does all right. You can put some weight on it too. It probably would help dig it in a little bit more. And then, yeah, either do that or harrow it with a real harrow. And then maybe get a rain shower on it if you can get your timing right, you know, and get a rain shower on it. That'll kind of push it down too. So usually I would have just, like last year, I just kept working it, because I didn't think, you know, what could I do to make it smoother. I just figured, I'll work it, you know, good enough. But kind of would be nice to make it a little smoother. And I could actually drive this you know, with the blazer on here, because that's just how good it is now. But I wouldn't want to go in there, you know, like go through the hill. But the rest of this trail is actually all right. So, but driving on it with the Tahoe will also compact the dirt down, which is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to drive this one more time. Mother's going to hate me because she don't like it that I'm bringing this nice blazer down here. It's not really a work truck. It's supposed to be my daily driver kind of thing. I'm actually thinking maybe in the future buying another one of these Tahoes, unless I find a piece of shit Dodge. Well, then that's what I'll do. But there's actually another turn that on. There's actually another Tahoe like this for sale. It's a white one, but it's got a lot of miles, and the back window's been blown out, the front bumper's smashed, the rear one doesn't even match because it's black and the blazer's white. So they obviously must have broken that bumper at some time and just replaced it with any one they could find. Yeah, I'm leaving my tracks behind, but that's all right. So yeah, I mean, you could, yeah, I was, if I had the money, I'd jump on that Tahoe, you know, because it's a piece of shit, and that's a piece of shit that it's a piece of shit. So I wouldn't care if I damaged it anymore because it's already a piece of shit. I don't want to damage this one because obviously this is my going to town rig, so I can't be pulling lots of. I mean, I'm going to be hauling my 4-wheeler with it and stuff, but that's about it. I'm not going to be working it too awful damn hard, but unless I can get my hands on a Dodge 2500 Cummins, you know, then that will become my work truck. But until then, I don't know. If I could get my hands on a piece of shit, then it would be all right. Either one, either another Tahoe or a pickup. You know, either one. So it would not matter to me one bit. So it's still a little rough because I can tell, because obviously I'm driving on it with the Tahoe and we are bouncing around. So it's not perfectly smooth, and it's never going to be. I mean, you'd have to get like a finisher, or you'd have to actually till it, you know, the tiller, to break up the clumps, and then you have to get some kind of a leveler thing out to level it. Like, I'm not trying to go for perfect, but what I have going on here now is right. It's about there. I mean, a little bumpiness here ain't gonna kill anything, but yeah. The only fortunate thing now is I'm leaving my tracks behind, which I can easily work that out just by, you know, smoothing it out again with the smoother. That's what I'm going to call it, the smoother. That pallet. I remember back in the day, if you guys go way back on my videos, because obviously I don't make the greatest videos in the world, but I'm not trying to go for billions of subscribers, and I'm not trying to make high quality videos, so we're at my turnaround point. So, but if you go way back quite a few years, we weren't even working this trail, but I was trying to figure out what I could do to bring it back, at least enough so we can get a 4-wheeler down here and make it somewhat enjoyable. Well, then I ended up making a redneck roller. I think I even called that video that, redneck roller, something, whatever the hell it is. Just, I guess, Google it or look it up on my YouTube channel, or redneck roller. Basically what it was is I took some angle iron and a round pipe, put it all together, and I just dragged it behind the 4-wheeler, and that was just to knock the weeds down. Now that only worked on rainy days because the grass was soaking wet, and grass would lay over a lot nicer if it was wet. It doesn't work when it's dry, so you'd have to do it basically right after a storm or something. So, but now you can just, you know, work it with a cultivator and then smooth it out with a piece of pallet. So yeah, I guess if they ever give out more pallets for free. Usually they give them out for free. They don't ever ask for anything for them. Last time I looked anyway, they were giving them out for free because they had so damn many of them, they didn't know what to do with them all. So I think next time they do that over on North Dakota side there, I want to take 3 of them fuckers. I mean, you could take as many as you want, and if you really got smart, you could figure out how to put them together and make it wider, you know, which wouldn't be that bad if they were the smaller ones, because there's all different sizes of pallets. But if you can only get like the small ones, like you could just maybe tie them together with some chain or something, you know, or put some big heavy screws through it, you know, or whatever, or even some leg bolts would work probably better. Just put them on there or bolt them together, and there you go. You'd be wider than probably this. So, but that's what I would do. I'd probably get 2 or 3 of those freaking pallets and screw them together or whatever, and make your own little homemade smoother outer dirt leveler kind of thing, you know. It ain't gonna be perfect like a harrow, but if you can't afford a harrow, but your places in town are giving out pallets for free, just use a freaking pallet and screw it. I mean, unless this trail is going to be used for like a movie or something, and it needs to be perfect, then you probably want to spend some money on some equipment. But if it's just going to be your own little private little sumbitch, I don't think it needs to be perfect. Mine's not perfect, and I'm already loving it. So I'd love to come down here in the wintertime, you know. I mean, I can if there's not too much snow. Not last year, but the year before, I was able to come through here because we didn't have that much snow. But if we had a lot of snow, well, then you would have to have a snowcat, which we did last year. We had a lot of snow, so a pallet a snowcat would be a lot nicer. So. But you know what? For a redneck setup, you know, I mean, of course that drum wasn't on there when I was doing it, but that drum probably weighs easily 5-10 pounds. You know, maybe if you added some water to it, it might make that front end a little heavier. Or you could just get some logs too. Like if you got woods like this, you can probably find logs anywhere. You know, but I got lucky and found that drum, so maybe I'll try it without any water in it next time I work it. And then if I think it needs to be even heavier, well, then I'll just throw some water in it, and then it'll be a lot heavier. You don't want to make them too heavy, because then the pallet may not be able to handle it unless it's a much bigger pallet. But I think if you threw at least 5-10 gallons of water in it, it would add a few more pounds. And you got to keep in mind too, whatever's pulling it too. I mean, the four-wheeler could pull that. I don't know if he could pull it fully loaded, full of water, but he'd probably be struggling. But you know, a farm LA could pull it probably no trouble. And then if you had a smaller tractor or a smaller four-wheeler, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to fill it as much. You only need to put enough in there to make a little bit of a difference. So I think I just throw maybe 5-10 gallons of water in it. Maybe just start with 5, just see how everything handles it, and then if it needs more, then add more. But just being on its own, the pallet, you know, it did pretty good. So yeah, I'm actually kind of blown away that worked. I wasn't really expecting that to work, really, honestly. I just thought, it's just going to do more freaking bouncing, which it did bounce, but the faster you go, the more it's going to bounce. But it seems like as long as you stayed under 5 miles or under 6 miles an hour, then it didn't bounce that bad. So I think if we add a little bit of water to it, it may not bounce as bad. It may actually dig in a little more, which is what you may want. Well, like I said, I'm going to try it once without anything in it, see how it handles it. And then if I think it needs a little more weight, well, then I'll add 5 gallons of water to it. And then I'll just keep adding to it, I guess, until I think I have it right. So, I'd rather have too little than too much and then start, you know, breaking shit. So, but yeah, it would be nice if we could go all the way through on the other end too, but that hill, you'd have to knock the hill down. I mean, you could do it even with a little 1025R. It would probably take you all summer, but you could do it. Knock it down enough anyway to make it safe to go over. Yeah. So, and another thing, I guess you could buy too, since I thought about it. You don't have to buy Tahoe, because even with them being beat up, they're a lot of money. But I think you can get those Chevy Trailblazers. I know Grisha 6 has one, but I remember my sister's ex-boyfriend, he had one. That's what he drove for a lot of years. And then he got into an accident and wrecked it, but unless he hit a deer with it. I don't know. He destroyed the front end. He pulled the bumper and everything off, but it you can get them things pretty cheap, and they don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be. I wouldn't even make mine street legal because it's never going to see the road. So, unless you plan on using it as a work truck, well then yeah, probably. But if you're just going to use it for around the farmyard and the farm fields, fuck it. It doesn't need to be street legal. But yeah. But unfortunately, this thing here, yeah, it has to be, because I'm driving this thing on the road, so I got to be able to use it for that. So it's not really meant to be a work truck. I've been using it like one. I don't like it, but I don't have much of a choice right now. This is the way Big Red's acting. Plus, Big Red's dead right now. He's still charging up, and he's only been on the charger for a couple of hours. There's a log right there I need to pick up later. So I didn't get totally every log, I guess, off this field, but I couldn't get over here until just today, because it was just, you know what, let's go walk that junk pile, see if we can get, I haven't even been in there yet this year to mow it. I don't even know if I'm going to mow it this year because it's just been so damn late. Let's get over here. I mean, it needs to be mowed, but the fucking water just got off it, so I mean, what more can I do? So, but yeah, once this thing falls apart and is no longer usable on the highway, well then it will become, you know, just a work truck. But right now it's going to be my main machine, so my main vehicle. Yeah, see, this I used to mow all the time. Haven't mowed it yet this year. Well, there's a deer. I mean, this stuff is definitely beyond ready to be mowed, but I don't know if I can get through the ditch quite as yet. So, I mean, I guess I can get through the Blazer, but that's 4-wheel drive, so Pulser definitely took a beating. This is just a little soft. Okay, that's totally mushy. Can't go through that. Alright, so mowing this isn't going to happen. It needs to be mowed, but yeah. This is actually the first time being down here for this year. I got a log in here. Alright. So I got to get him out of here. Yeah, it's still awful. Yeah, it's still awful muddy and wet down there. What the hell is that? Is that another drum or something laying there? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get in here this year. I don't know. It's not looking too hot, so oh well, if I go 1 year without mowing, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I wouldn't be mowing it, period, if we actually put our cows down here. I wouldn't bother then. But I mow it because I want to be able to get in here so we can see where the fuck we're going when we want to throw junk down here, and it just makes it look a little neater. So, yeah. What are you gonna do though? So, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. I guess if I get in maybe by August or September, maybe I'll knock it down then, but I'm not going to be in too much of a hurry for it. I got too much other stuff going on to really... I still got this log that can get moved out. I think by Monday we can get him out. At least Tuesday, because this ditch is dry enough now. If I can get my Tahoe through, we can get the tractor through. And then be done with that. So... yeah, other than that, I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to take off and head home. But the trail's looking, you know, a million times nicer. I would say if any of you guys out there have trails and you're wondering what the hell to do, hang on, this is going to hurt the laser. That wasn't so bad. It'll be dry, I think, by Monday. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys have trails. I mean, you could probably do it with like a big tractor tire, like one of those big drive tires. The problem is you would have to have something strong enough to pull it. I don't know if a quad could do it, you know. But if you had a small tractor, it probably wouldn't be a problem. But I don't know. But if you got some pallets, freaking sun's gonna be in your guys' eyes. I don't know what else to do. But if you got a big pallet or something, you know, there you fucking go. Good enough. Just put some weight on her, and you know, look at this grass. I don't know how good it's showing up on camera. Not at all. But if you look in the low spot, we'll get up to a low spot here. Ran something over. What was that? I think that was a stump. Yeah. So we're in a low spot right here. You see all that brown grass there, with the brown tip. That's how you know that's a low spot, because that's the only stuff that will grow in a low spot. I think the cows eat it, you know, and it grows really good there. The rest of the hay is it's not up. I mean, some of it's up there, but this here is a little bit shorter, which is kind of surprising, because now we're getting into another low spot again, and I'm kind of blown away that this didn't grow a lot taller than that. There's a little bit in there that grew a little tall, but it ain't. I can already tell you now, I think it's better than last year. I think it's better than last year. I think we're going to get a good hay crop. We got to get, if we got 130 bales like we did that, well, we got 133 that other year, but if we got at least 130, I don't know if we'll get that or not. But here again, we're getting into some really tall stuff. So, all right, don't over rev. So, all this really tall stuff, that's probably up to about Big Red's headlights right now. And that's what that hay over there does on a really good year too. If it's above the rack, the front rack of Big Red, it's a really good hay crop then. But if it's below that, like it has been in some years, it's going to be okay, but it ain't going to be great. And if it's below, if it's below Big Red's winch, well, then you got a problem. And when you have a drought, the only thing that you see out of here are frickin' flowers. Some kind of a yellow flower, and that doesn't really get that tall. It's thick, but it's not that tall. So That's why I hate those type of years. And those years are usually our droughts, you know, and it does such damage to our hay. I don't know what I think our alfalfa took kind of a beating too, because it didn't get to grow like it wanted to this year. I see it's growing on the dike okay, but unfortunately they're going to be mowing it, so then that's not going to get the seed and dump seeds all over the place. But I don't know. I think the hay's trying to make a comeback, but it's obviously having such a hard time. It did pretty good the other year, but then we had a drought, and then we had this flood, so it kind of stressed it out. I don't think there's going to be quite that much here. What is going to be here is obviously new plants that have started growing even last year or something. So, but yeah, the hay's looking. I mean, one day I'm going to walk this. Just, you know, start right here from my trail and just go right to the bridge and then gauge it on that. And then, yeah. I guess I could try what our Wyoming Life does on YouTube. They take a hula hoop ring, just randomly toss it, and then he cuts the grass that's in there inside that ring, and then I guess somehow he can weigh that, and that'll tell him the tonnage, and then that will tell him, I guess, like how many bales you're going to get off that. So, but I don't think I want to cut hay, even if it's just a little hula hoop, you know, size of it, because we need all the little bit we can get. And if, you know, it's going to sound stupid to cut a little bit, and, you know, whatever, but I want it. I want it to go into a bale, not just die off and be done for the year. So I gauge it off of usually how it looks on Big Red. If I'm smacking it with the front rack, it's some damn good shit then. Yeah, this stuff's looking really good. I mean, it should grow really good. I mean, for crying out loud, it had a fucking flood on top of it. It had a heavy rains, you know, and then that snow, which, you know, probably did a hell of a lot for it. But yeah, this is going to be some nice hay. I think we're going to get well over 100 bales. Yeah, I think it'd be crazy if we got 150, but I've never seen 150 count bales off here. The only time, well, I can't say that because I don't think I was even living here at the time, but, and that was alfalfa too, yeah, so it's a little bit different. But ever since the alfalfa died off, I've never seen over 130, or 135, even 140. And we've only ever gotten one cutting off this, so, back when the old timer did it and we actually had alfalfa in here, I remember my uncle telling me the story. There was that one year that I guess it must have just been raining enough and it had enough heat and stuff that the alfalfa grew back 4 more times that year. So the old timer was able to get 4 cuttings off this field in just 1 year. That's why I want to put alfalfa back in here, is because you can get almost 4 cuttings a year, you know, and, you know, 4 cuttings. And let's just say, I mean, I don't know because I haven't done the math or anything really like that, but if we cut this hay 4 times, and because we're going to get more than 100 bales, but if you cut it 4 times and you got 100 bales per cutting, that's 400 bales. You know, of course, it depends on how much it's going to grow the second and the third and the fourth time, but, you know, just rough numbers. If we could get that many bales, we wouldn't even know what to do with it all. I mean, we could sell it, and of course, I mean, the young guy would take his, he would probably end up taking most of it, because technically for us, we only would need probably 60 bales to get us through the year. Of course, now as we get more cattle, that's going to change. But I think if we got 60 bales, and then Well, yeah, well, the young guy would still get way more than us, but if it was for ourselves, you know, we could sell a lot of that, you know, especially if we got over 400 bales, you know, per cutting. So you could do pretty good down here, you know, if you had alfalfa, but this is just regular grass. I think we could have almost gotten a second cutting last year, but obviously the young guy was not going to come back for it, but that flower stuff grew back, you know, and that stuff gets up to about maybe 2 feet tall if you really let it go. And I did spray off some of it, but I didn't know if my chemical was going to kill it or not. Well, sure enough, it did. So if the flowers took over enough that we could get a second cutting off it, I'd cut it. Even though it's just flowers, the cows will eat it, but they recommend not to feed too much of it because supposedly the cows can get the diarrhea and stuff from it, just like they would if they ate too much alfalfa. So, but I don't know. I think it'd be worth planting alfalfa down here, like there was. But another thing too is that on good years like this, you know, you get damn good hay down here. So I would feel kind of bad ripping it up too. But I mean, I don't know how good alfalfa would do in a drought, but I mean, that's going to start happening here eventually too, because it just seems like it's happening everywhere else because, you know, global warming. So look at those clouds over there. It looks like nastiness. But I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going to get some damn good hay out here. I think we'll definitely get over 100 bales this year. I just, because we've been through it before, and we usually get over 100 bales, you know, off this 60, 70 acre piece. So now we could cut the dike, you know, which, I mean, they'll probably mow it before we can even cut it. So, but there's logs there, so they won't be doing it this year. But if you got the logs off, I'd fucking cut the dike too and bale it. You know, even if you got an extra 2 bales out of it, it'd be damn well worth it. I would like to have a year where we had hay and we could carry, you know, that hay over into the next year, you know. So even if it's just 5 bales, I'd do it. Stack them bales up and save them, you know, for next year, because you never know what next year's going to be like. It might be a freaking drought, and then you're not going to have good hay. So I haven't started the old International for quite a while. I know Greasy Six did a video at a car show or whatever, and another guy had an L130 sitting there. So, except his had a regular box on it, but it also had the dump hoist thing on it too. So that's an interesting to see when they have a hoist on them like that. I want to look at this garden here. I worked up this garden too, but I think it could be planted, but I don't think it's going to get planted. I only made a couple of rounds. It looks like complete shit because it's just so damn lumpy. But what are you going to do? So, but whatever. I guess, guys, we'll head home. And there goes my camera again cutting out. That was all about. Stupid thing. Other than that, yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to take off and head home, and I think I'm going to be flinging some mud everywhere. So, but I got things to do, and yeah. So, but it is what it is. Not much you can really do about it. So, make sure nobody's coming because I've been through this before. So, yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. I'll do a hay update video or not, you know, a couple more days or something. Wait till after 4th of July and see what she does. And then, yeah. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So, I guess have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.